Hey, it's me, the Nerdy Cat. Whoever actually likes and or watches my videos, I apologize for dropping off the face of the earth. So anyway, today I'm going to do two things. One is be a Death Note fan with my calligraphy L, and two, I'm going to make a review of sorts about these two books I've been reading lately. One of them I really liked and one of them I really didn't. So I'm going to start out with the book that I really liked. So this particular book I really liked was called Sorcery and Cecilia, or The Enchanted Chocolate Pot. Try saying that one 7 times fast. By two ladies named Patricia C. W-R-E-D, I think it says weird, and Caroline Stevermer. And this book takes place in the Victorian era and involves the two main characters, which are two girls named Cecilia and Kate. And this one is, the most important of the two is probably Cecilia, that's why the book's named after her. So here's what the blurb says. It says, "Dear reader, a great deal is happening in London this season. For starters, there's a witch who tried to poison Kate at the Royal College of Wizards. She must have taken Kate for the mysterious Marquise, who's an ass, which is curious since they look nothing alike. And a handsome man seems to be spying on Cecilia, though he's not doing a very good job of it. So what just are his intentions?" Oops, I read that wrong. Then there's a strange spell that has made our friend Dorothea the toast of the town. Could it possibly have something to do with the charm bag under Oliver's bed? Speaking of Oliver, how long can we keep making excuses for him? Ever since he was turned into a tree, he hasn't bothered to tell anyone where he is. Clearly, magic is a deadly and dangerous business, and we might be in fear for our lives. If only we weren't having so much fun. Love, Cecilia and Kate, which are the two. So to be honest, I just kind of grabbed this book off of the shelf in my English classroom for lack of anything else to read, because I'd finished all my books, and I had been eyeballing this one for the past couple months, because it's got a really interesting cover. So anyway, my first impressions of this book were, when I first read the blurb, I was like, what the freak? What is this? What the heck? Like, I was not really sure what to make of it. And when I first started reading it, I thought, oh, is this going to be really boring, maybe? Because all these girls did in their letters in the beginning was describe their social calendars, because they're just being presented for their first seasons. So I was like, oh my god, this is going to suck. But no, I kept reading and it got really interesting as soon as they met the wizards. And it's really kind of cool. These two girls, this book seems to have something for everybody in the sense that, like, there's romance for those girls, there's magic for fantasy lovers, it's in the Victorian era for people like me who just like that, and the other thing is, it's one of those books where it's like everyday life with a twist, so it's just kind of, there's something about it that just makes you want to read it in the end. So, I'm at this point in the book where I'm sort of at the climax right now, about halfway through, and it's incredibly interesting. But I must admit, this book, the people I would recommend this book for are people with an attention span and people who don't really like fast-paced books as much. Because this book, it builds and builds and builds, and it's like you don't really know where they're going with this, until of course they get there. But yes, I would highly recommend The Enchanted Chocolate Pot or Sorcery and Cecilia as a really good read. I'm currently reading it for English class. So anyway, I'm going to move on to the book that I really hated. So this book that irked me so, this book that ranked one below Twilight on the piss off cat scale was Maximum Ride, or the first book in the series. It was a catastrophe. Because I was expecting, when somebody told me, oh my god, you should read Maximum Ride, I was expecting something fantastic after Witch and Wizard. So anyway, this book is about these kids who are 98% human and 2% bird. And first of all, I was like, what? Are you telling me that 2% bird DNA is enough to give these kids wings? So anyway, these kids are basically flying around trying to save one of their little pack. And everything is going horribly wrong for them. They hate it because their person who previously took care of them is now chasing them with these wolf-human hybrid things. And it's like There's no happy ending to this book. It's been dragged out for 4 books now. I'm getting a tad bit tired of it, and I didn't even think the first book was that good. Basically, it was 400 pages of these kids getting caught, abused, trapped, almost dissected, and examined for miles across the U.S. And then in the end, I thought, oh, maybe it'll have a happy ending, because at one point, one of them was like, oh my gosh, I found out my parents are still alive, we should go live with them. Oh, yay. And I thought, oh, great, finally, it'll end. But no. I looked at the first chapter of the second book, and they're still flying around, and somebody's still dying. It sucks. Don't read this book. I guarantee you, you will hate it if you are anywhere older than the 4th or 5th grade. You will loathe it with all of your heart, because this book, this sort of plot is one of those plots where you cannot cram it into 400 pages. It should be 800 like a Harry Potter book, or nothing, because it was just not enough detail in the plot to the point where it wasn't even like those stories that leave you hanging and waiting to hear more and sort of leave you to figure it out. It was just one of those stories where they just did not describe enough to you. So it was just like, it was too easy basically, which doesn't help anything. So anyway, I am now going to retire. So, Nerdy Cat, out.